We've teamed up with the Development Corporation for a new segment here on Mountain Lake Journal that'll showcase successful businesses in Clinton County that are internationally renowned and provide hundreds of good-paying jobs in the North Country. Over the next several months, we'll take you inside these companies to meet the workers and management teams behind their success. We begin with a name recognized around the world, Swarovski, known for its high-quality precision-cut crystal. 5 years ago, Swarovski acquired another famous name in the lighting industry, Schonbek, a Plattsburgh-based manufacturer known for its luxurious crystal chandeliers. Now, these two well-known companies have joined forces, combining their worldwide operations and global headquarters in Plattsburgh. Two of the world's oldest companies together under one roof, lighting the way. Chances are you've heard of the company. Its glittering luxury chandeliers are found on the sets of major motion pictures and in the finest homes, hotels, and landmarks around the world. And nearly all of them are designed, manufactured, and assembled by hand at this plant right here in Plattsburgh. Arnold Schonbek carried on his family's business and legacy when he moved their crystal chandelier company from Montreal to Plattsburgh in 1974. Tim Patno was one of the first workers hired.
Literally, there were 25 employees when I started, and now there's over 400.
Patno is now the director of manufacturing, overseeing this factory that creates some of the finest crystal chandeliers and lighting fixtures under two legendary brand names, Schonbek and Swarovski. Both companies trace their roots and heritage back to 1800 Europe. One a world leader in precision-cut crystals, and the other its biggest customer, using those crystals to create stunning and elegant custom-designed chandeliers. 5 years ago, the two companies joined forces under the Swarovski name.
Early 2010, the decision was made to make this the world headquarters for the Swarovski lighting business.
Tens of thousands of lights filling the pages of their catalogs, to their showroom floors in Dallas and Milan, to some of the world's most expensive custom-made crystal chandeliers and lamps that begin right here on the scratch pad of the company's designers.
I draw all these things and people are like, fantastic, I want to buy it for $100,000, $200,000, $1 million. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Mark Smith got a taste of what was to come his first few days on the job.
And they're discussing how to design the largest crystal dragon in the world.
Some of Mark's signature designs include the largest chandelier in Macy's newly renovated flagship store in New York City, and these richly decorated lamps that welcome VIPs to a high rollers club in Las Vegas.
If you rub your hand along this, because we want it to be a kind of a good luck charm, if you ran your hand along this, it sounds like chips because of the metal. It's like, so it sounds like money.
A cool lamp, but an engineering challenge to pull off.
Here you have like a building full of brilliant people. And this is a perfect example.
Vern Lashway is one of the talented minds that helps turn Mark's designs into reality. He started a second career going back to school in his 40s and has been with the company for 10 years.
I really thought as I was ready to graduate from school, I was really concerned that, with an area, a fairly small industrial area like Plattsburgh, I really thought I was going to have to move away.
Were you surprised when this opportunity came along?
Oh, I was so happy.
Robin Jarvis takes the blueprints and turns them into 3D computer images for the engineers to actually create the parts they need.
From a design to a warm laser part in the hand of the design engineer can take only 3 or 4 minutes.
Rebecca Cooper runs the laser machine that then cuts many of the parts from steel.
And it's phenomenal that we go from such a raw, rough steel to something elegant and refined. It's really an amazing process.
Across the plant, Jonas Hastings is using a computerized lathe to create a coupling for the wiring.
This part here would normally take around 4 operations to make complete, whereas now with this machine you can do it all in one.
Britt Lindsay also uses computer technology to bend and mold the steel with precision.
I enjoy being able to identify a part that's on the final product, saying, hey, I had something to do with that.
And while many of the workers use state-of-the-art high-tech equipment, much of the work is still done the old-fashioned way, by hand, just the way it's been done for generations. Brenda Liberty will spend up to 20 hours attaching thousands of crystals to this frame.
Makes you feel good. When you're done and you see the finished product, it just makes you feel like you've accomplished something.
Steve LeClaire will coat and then bake the color into the frames in the powder room, with coworker Jamie Barber giving some of them a more antique look with hand detailing, while Jason Gagne will take clear glass components and paint them any color to match a customer's crystal.
Make them happy, and it makes me happy.
Just about every product that we've got is touched by somebody's hands at some time to actually put it together and apply those finishing touches with the crystal and the frame itself.
One of the brand new LED lights from the Swarovski centerpieces line is a perfect example. A modern design with thousands and thousands of tiny cut crystals all attached by hand. And while many of the Schonbek chandeliers are more traditional and elegant, they do have lines with a cutting-edge look, like this smaller chandelier with Swarovski Elements crystals assembled piece by piece by workers like Valerie Aycock.
It's our foray into LED lighting. As we start to transition out of incandescent lighting, we're doing more and more with halogen and now with LED lighting.
And those newer lines also use new materials, like this one being assembled by Christine Wilson. It's Swarovski's Empire Crystal Chandelier made out of leather.
This is exciting to do something new.
That's what we try to do, is excel with the quality and show people that we do make the best, the finest crystal chandelier, whether it be contemporary, traditional, a custom piece, that when you buy one from us that you are getting the best.
And for the company, a huge part of that consistent quality is the dedication and fine workmanship that comes from their employees.
We've got a fantastic team that puts their heart and soul into these fixtures to give people a beautiful chandelier for years to come.
And we're joined by two members of the management team now at Swarovski Lighting and Schonbek. John Sims is Vice President of Global Business Operations, and David White is Vice President of Global Sales and Marketing. Welcome to you both. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people know your company's brand names. Swarovski, certainly well known worldwide, and Schonbek, but they may not know exactly what it is you manufacture in your Plattsburgh plant. What is it that you make here in Clinton County?
Primarily, if you think about premier decorative lighting for the retail market as well as the architect and design community, all the fixtures for the most part for our business are made actually in Plattsburgh.
You make luxury lighting.
Luxury lighting, absolutely.
And a lot of people have heard of Schonbek and your crystal chandeliers. They're well known not only across America but around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Schonbek's a worldwide brand. And Swarovski is a worldwide brand, so we're known pretty much everywhere globally. The Schonbek brand is more well known in North America, but is emerging in the rest of the world. Swarovski is known everywhere.
And many people are familiar with your chandeliers, but what other lines of products do you sell and manufacture?
Chandelier kind of calls to mind a traditional classic shape that everybody thinks of. And we certainly do that, mostly in the Schonbek brand. That's the more classic, traditional brand. But in Swarovski, we have what are called lighting centerpieces that really kind of challenge the word chandelier. Big, long draping pieces. We just did one in New York that's actually 10 meters long and a brownstone there that's under the Crystal Palace label. So yeah, it's really more contemporary under the Swarovski brand and things that kind of push the design envelope, so you'd be hard-pressed to call them chandeliers, even though technically they hang from the ceiling like a chandelier would.
What is your biggest market? Is it custom order, catalog, retail?
The biggest part of our market is retail, but the fastest growing part of our market is the custom contract. We call it Swarovski Architectural Solutions. This is where we work with hotels or basically architects and designers around the world that are designing for prominent properties. Might be a palace in the Middle East, might be a hotel, might be a famous private residence, and we'll do a custom design. That custom design might be lighting, or it might be just crystal in really unique forms. It might be applied to glass, or might be applied to furniture, but anything and everything related to crystal for that specific application.
And you build everything, most of it by hand, right in the Plattsburgh factory.
Yep.
Yes, yes. The Schonbek brand is all manufactured here. As Dave said, most of the Swarovski brand is also manufactured here in Plattsburgh. There's a small amount that traditionally Swarovski has done in Europe. What we found though is that model with third-party manufacturers, even though it worked for them in the past, doesn't really fit the model that we've developed. So we have a small manufacturing operation, distribution operation in Austria. They've become more vertically integrated over the last year or so. So as we move those products from the third-party manufacturers to a Swarovski-owned entity, then we're doing more of our own, and we're managing more of our own.
For years, Schonbek has been one of Swarovski's biggest customers.
At the time, we're told that Schonbek was the largest purchaser of crystal in the lighting business from Swarovski. Swarovski decided that they wanted to get more vertically integrated and expand in the lighting business. At the time, their lighting was made by third-party manufacturers over in Europe. Didn't totally understand worldwide certification, especially here in North America. Swarovski decided to acquire Schonbek. That was, what, October of?
2007.
So that was 2007. Why the decision that year to bring these two world-class brands with such long histories and heritage under one single roof?
Was really the opportunity to grow the business. So if you really looked at the business at the time, Schonbek very, very strong in North America, the prominent brand for crystal chandeliers in North America. Swarovski very strong in other parts of the world in lighting. So they really looked at it as an opportunity to basically become more vertically integrated and grow the business in a big way. So the goal was to bring the Swarovski product here to North America, get it certified under UL so we can market it here, and take Schonbek worldwide through the rest of the sales force and really build a worldwide sales force that we could kind of become more global with both brands. So that's really what we've been doing.
How's that worked for 5 years?
Actually excellent.
Very well.
The economy hasn't necessarily treated everybody well over the last 5 years, but we've done better than most, in great part because of our growth plans internationally.
Yeah, it came at a time, 2007, just before the worldwide recession. Has that had a big impact on your business?
It had a big impact on the industry. Certainly had an impact on us, but less so than the rest of the industry, just because of our growth plans internationally and our ability to bring the Swarovski brand here to North America and introduce it in a bigger way.
And when you did that, you made Plattsburgh your global headquarters. Not many companies do that, making Plattsburgh their home base. Why did you decide to make Plattsburgh the global headquarters?
Well, actually, the executive board of Swarovski's a family-owned company, 5th generation. Our boss is one of the 5th generation members of the family. They decided that this location was better for the lighting business because it was vertically integrated and truly had the capabilities of becoming a global manufacturer, and already had all the core competencies here in engineering and certification and manufacturing. So in essence, we actually moved sales and marketing that was headquartered in Europe for the Swarovski brand over here to Plattsburgh.
So everybody's under one roof now, sales, marketing, designers, production, everything here in Plattsburgh.
With a couple of small exceptions, we have a global sales force all over the world in Moscow, Paris, Dubai, Shanghai, Hong Kong. So we have places all over the world, and we do have an operation still in Austria that does some manufacturing and assembly.
Exactly, but it's a relatively small operation. From a product development standpoint, the product marketing in those areas, part of that move was last year. We consolidated those operations, and prior to that, we had a UK operation. We also consolidated here in Plattsburgh.
How many employees do you have under the roof here in Plattsburgh, in Clinton County?
We have approximately 400 here, and then we have a little less than 100 in total in the rest of the world that are employees of ours.
And they come from all over the world? Very diverse.
Yes.
You're one of the top employers in Clinton County.
My understanding is that if you, at least in the top 5, from a local perspective, definitely.
How important is it to the Schonbek family that the company remain here and provide good paying jobs for hundreds of local workers?
Actually, one of the reasons why Schonbek sold to Swarovski was it's a family-owned business. So Schonbek was a family-owned business, fourth going on fifth generation. Swarovski's a family-owned business, fifth generation. So they wanted to make sure it was that type of culture going forward versus your typical how shall I say, investment banking firm or somebody else that might buy a company. The other key thing was they realized that Swarovski, with its global footprint and with its strong balance sheet as basically a debt-free company, could invest in the business to help it grow. So they felt very comfortable and safe in turning it over to Swarovski, knowing that the long-term plan was to make it the corporate headquarters for the lighting business internationally and to invest in jobs in the community here to grow the business worldwide.
Other manufacturers in the North Country often go through cycles, ups and downs. Sometimes they have to lay off workers or have reduced work weeks. You haven't had to do that. You have been a consistent workforce here in Clinton County.
Yes, for the most part. I mean, we had issues and we dealt with in 2008, the beginning of 2009. But as Dave said, we had less impact here because of all the growth plans that we had at that time helped to offset some of the global and the U.S. economic issues. So for us, it became much less of an issue. We've got more here today, obviously employed in Plattsburgh than we did a few years ago.
And at a time when other companies are outsourcing jobs overseas, you've chosen not only to do your manufacturing here, but to base your global headquarters here.
Absolutely.
And we took our knocks like everybody else when the economy went down, but yeah, certainly it was a lot less of a knock than what our competitors were going through worldwide.
When we talk about outsourcing, other companies are sending jobs overseas. They're bringing products in from China, but you're doing just the opposite. You're looking to expand your market in China, which is something that not a lot of companies are doing.
Yeah, our goal is to get some of that money that everybody else is exporting to the Middle East for oil and to China for other goods, and to actually have those as growth markets to actually expand our marketplace there and bring jobs here. So in China, we've been working on what's called CCC certification, which is a special certification to be able to legally sell products in China, and we're just rolling out a pretty major campaign there to open retailers and take the brand to the next level.
And when we look 5 years into the future, what do you see?
The two biggest emerging markets for us are absolutely China and India. India has 1.1 billion people and it continues to grow, so we see more and more of our business being export to other countries. Certainly in North America we see good retail growth and have in the last couple of years, both for the Schonbek brand and even more so for the Swarovski brand, but just because of how the economies are working in other parts of the world, we just see huge upside potential in those two markets I mentioned.
You certainly have one of the largest plants here in Clinton County. As that growth continues, do you need to look to expand here in the county?
That's a good possibility, yes. I mean, we have the two facilities, right now our major ones, our distribution warehouse and then our main factory and our admin building. We're at capacity on the administration side right now because, as Dave mentioned, the people that we brought on board the last year or so, we do have plans, should we decide to do that, to be able to actually expand the facility we have now. We also run 3 shifts, but we have more capacity than what we're doing today to be able to expand on those 3 shifts.
So no pun intended, you see a bright future here.
Very, very bright.
A sparkly future.
That's good. Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.